Hi, my name is Peyton Schroyer, and I'm doing a presentation on overfishing. It is a global crisis, and throughout this presentation, I want you to understand the impact on marine ecosystems, humans, and what needs to change. So first, let me give an introduction of overfishing and what it is. Overfishing is the removal of a species of fish from a body of water at a rate greater than the species can replenish and reproduce its population. So here are some historical context. Overfishing has recently become a problem in the mid 20th century and has only been increasing due to industrial fishing practices and increases in technology. As you can see on the graph on the right, global fish production has just steadily increased from 2002 to 2022. So what are some types of overfishing? Well, we have growth overfishing, which really just targets immature fish, and recruitment overfishing, which affects future generations, and economic overfishing, which is driven by market demand and is mostly done by industrial farming. And on the left is what is negatively impacting marine biology the most, and exploitation is by far the most. So here are some global statistics. According to the FAO, approximately 34% of fish stocks are overfished and 60% are fully exploited. And as you can see on that right, the food and food supply is getting very close to each other. So what are some effects of overfishing? Overfishing depletes fish populations at a very high and alarming rate. This can lead to significant losses in species diversity, and this can disrupt marine ecosystems, thus affecting predator and prey relationships. So what are the economic consequences? The result is a loss of $83 billion a year from this overfishing. Reducing overfishing would allow severely exploited fish stocks to recover over time. And local communities face job losses and declines in revenue due to this depleted fish stocks. So what are the social implications? Well, many people across the world rely on fish as a main source of protein, and low fish stocks could lead to food insecurity for these people. So what are the ecosystem disruptions? Well, some of the overfishing effects on the ecosystem, such as when large predators get overfished, this can lead to algal blooms and other negative environmental impacts. So what are some of the causes of overfishing? Well, the main cause is just an increase in demand for seafood. Global seafood consumption has doubled since the 1970s, and this immense pressure on fishing stocks is what's depleting marine sources. And also, we're using unsustainable fishing practices, such as bottom trawling. Bottom trawling is a fishing method that involves dragging a large weighted net along the ocean floor to catch fish. And we also use drift net fishing, drift net fishing is pretty similar. Instead of dragging across the bottom, you're just dragging it throughout the ocean. But these unsustainable fishing practices are the biggest issue in the overfishing. And a lot of how we're allowed to do this is the technological advances we made in sonar and large capacity vessels, which have allowed for a lot more efficient catching. But this efficient catching has often lead to overexploitation. And also there's just a lack of regulation. Insufficient regulation and enforcement enable many countries and companies in these overfishing practices. A lack of effective management allows for fishing fleets to just operate unsustainably. So what can we do about it, and some solutions and preventions? Well, to start, how about sustainable fishing practices? Although it's great that we've made advances in technology, allowing for fishing stocks to replenish and reproduce will make it so we could actually have marine life still and not just kill off all the fish. And secondly, in order to do this, is we need policy and regulation changes. People aren't going to be, companies are only like motivated by profits, so they need kind of a motivation with the law to make the right choices with marine biology and to not over exploitate these fishing stocks. So effective policies and regulations would definitely be essential to combat overfishing. And then just community and awareness, like presentations like this, letting the public know it's a problem and pressuring politicians to make the right choices and regulations to stop overfishing. And maybe find some alternatives too. Aquaculture or fish farming offers like a viable alternative to wild fishing. And it's a renewable practice that will allow us to have a sustainable business and keep fishing, because I'm sure our globe is not going to stop eating fish. But that is the end of my presentation.